Hey, welcome! Today we're diving into something you've almost definitely felt before, that incredible feeling when you're so wrapped up in what you're doing that the entire world just seems to fade away.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Maybe you were playing guitar, or deep into a video game, or maybe just having an amazing conversation. You blink, and suddenly hours have vanished, but it felt like just a few minutes.
I mean, even Albert Einstein had a great way of putting it. It's wild, isn't it? How our sense of time can completely stretch and shrink, all depending on how plugged in we are to the present moment. Well, this experience isn't just some random fluke. It's a real, researched psychological state, and it has a name: flow. And honestly, learning how to find it more often can be an absolute game changer for your life. Okay, let's get into it.
So, what is flow really? I mean, what's the official word on this powerful state of mind?
Here's the definition from the psychologist who basically pioneered all the research on this, Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. It's that sweet spot where you're so into something that your ego, your worries, all that background noise just disappears. The activity itself becomes the reward. And this is why it's so important. Finding your flow is one of the clearest paths to finding your Ikigai, your purpose, your reason for being. The things that get you into that flow state, those are massive clues, pointing you toward what you're meant to do. Okay, that sounds amazing. But the big question is, how do we actually find it? The good news is, it's not just random luck. There are some really concrete strategies we can use to make it happen. The book Ikigai actually boils it down to 3 main rules. First, you need to pick a task that's challenging but not impossible. Second, you have to know what you're trying to do. And third, and this one is maybe the hardest one for us today, you have to focus on one single thing. So that first strategy is all about finding the sweet spot. Think of it like a channel. If a task is way too easy, you're bored. If it's way too hard, you get anxious and give up. Flow happens right in that perfect middle lane, where the challenge is just enough to stretch your skills. Next up, you need a clear goal. But, and this is key, it doesn't mean having a super rigid step-by-step map. I love this quote from Joy Ito at the MIT Media Lab. It's about having a compass, not a map. You know the direction you're headed, but you're flexible about the path you take to get there. Right. So here's the tricky part. You set that goal, that direction with your compass, but then you kind of have to forget about it. If you're constantly thinking about the finish line, you can't be in the moment. You have to immerse yourself in the process, in the journey itself. That's where flow lives. And strategy number 3, focus on one thing at a time. This is a tough one, because we live in a world that celebrates multitasking. But here's the truth. The science is crystal clear. Multitasking is a myth. It just makes us less productive, more stressed out, and it absolutely kills our creativity. I mean, get this. Some studies show that trying to juggle multiple tasks at once can tank our productivity by 60%. 60! That's huge. Our brains just aren't built for it. We're just rapidly switching from one thing to another, and we lose a ton of mental energy with every single switch. So what do? We have to build a fortress against distraction. And little habits can make a world of difference. Put your phone in another room. Try out the Pomodoro technique. That's where you work in super focused 25-minute blocks. Or, hey, try a tech fast one day a week. You gotta retrain your brain for focus. All right, so we've got the what and the how. Now let's get inspired by the who, the people who are true masters of living a life in flow. In Japan, they have this incredible word for these masters, takumi. It refers to an artisan who has poured their entire life into perfecting one specific craft. We're talking about a whole other level of dedication. You might have heard of some of them. People like Jiro Ano, the sushi master who, even in his 90s, is still trying to make this single perfect piece of sushi. Or the legendary animator Hayao Miyazaki, who gets so lost in his drawings that he's famous for working straight through national holidays completely alone. And that brings up this really profound question from the book. Can you really retire if you are truly passionate about what you do? When your work is your flow, when it's your ikigai, the whole idea of stopping just doesn't make any sense. But look, you don't have to be a world-famous master to do this. There's this awesome concept called microflow. It's about finding these moments in the most ordinary, everyday tasks. Even washing the dishes can become a flow activity if you just give it your full attention and maybe add a tiny challenge, like trying to do it a little more gracefully than last time. Okay, so we've defined it, we've got the strategies. And we've seen the masters. Now for the most important part, bringing all of this back to you.
So I want you to take a second and really think about this. What activities make time disappear for you? Is it running, cooking, coding, playing with your kids? What is it that makes you feel completely present? Because whatever just popped into your head, that's it. That's a huge clue to your Ikigai. Seriously, I'd love to know what it is. Drop your flow state activity in the comments below. Let's see what gets everyone going.
And please remember, flow isn't just some magical thing that happens to you. It's a skill. It's a muscle. The more you intentionally practice creating the right conditions for it, the more you'll find it, and the closer you'll get to living a life that feels truly meaningful. Ultimately, creating a life with more flow is a choice. It's something you can build day by day. If you found this useful, do me a favor and like the video and make sure you're subscribed to Mish Minds for more. Thanks so much for watching.